Alright, so we got a bit of a crazy one here, a little bit of a wild one. So, Zack Snyder, the Zack Snyder DC versus Marvel movie rumour just went to another level. So, obviously, when we're talking about comic books, when we're talking about superheroes, comic book movies even, the big players are and always have been DC and Marvel. And one of the sort of ultimate what ifs is a Marvel DC crossover. It's happened a few times in the comics. There's actually quite a few Marvel and DC crossover comic books, actually. I can't name them off the top of my head, but there have been quite a few of them done over the many years. But a Marvel and DC crossover in film on the cinema format is something that would be very interesting to see. I think we can all agree on that, is that would be very interesting to see, and it would probably be one of the biggest theatrical events of all time if pulled off correctly, executed correctly. So anyway, we've got this. So back in November, we reported, this is coming via Cosmic Book News, we reported that our insiders said discussions had taken place about a Marvel versus DC project involving Zack Snyder and the Russo brothers. We called it a long shot at the time, but said the timing lined up. Well, it just lined up a lot more. I feel like this is coming at like a very random time. I feel like if something like this had actually happened in like 2016 or like Endgame time, around the Endgame time, I feel like this would have been huge. The latest comes through Turki Al-Sheikh, the Saudi entertainment chief with 41.4 million Instagram followers, the man producing Zack Snyder's Brawlers and the head of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority. He is also tied to the bigger picture we have been reporting on, as Saudi Arabia's PIF is investing $10 billion into the Paramount WBD acquisition that our insiders say will bring the Snyderverse back. Here is where it gets interesting. The DC versus Marvel post-credit Rozam Media. Rozam Media is not some random fan account, it is Turki Al-Sheikh's own production company, which he founded. Rozam is his personal nickname. He founded Rozam Media, his production company specialising in film, TV and music. Rozam Media fully financed his horror film The Cello, starring Jeremy Irons, Zack Snyder's choice to play Alfred. So we are not talking about a random comic book meme page chasing engagement. We are talking about the Instagram page for a Saudi production company owned by the man, reportedly worth close to $3 billion, who runs entertainment for Saudi Arabia, is already producing movies with Snyder and is tied to the same country that is putting billions behind the Paramount WBD deal. This is just bonkers, frankly. I think it's safe to say that this is kind of bonkers. I mean, and not even because like you wouldn't be able to make it work from a creative standpoint, artistic standpoint, like you would be able to find a way to make that crossover work. It would obviously be a sort of multiverse, extra dimensional sort of thing, scenario that brings the Marvel characters and the DC characters together. But I mean, think about how much is going to need to go into making this happen. You need Marvel and Disney and DC and Warner Brothers to all cooperate, all work together. I mean, it's going to be the two big studios just making every single decision. There would be zero artistic freedom with a project like this. It would just be Disney and Warner Brothers just making executive decisions on every little thing. The concept itself is a bit of a risk, I guess. I guess that's how they would view it. So there would just be there wouldn't be any risk-taking happening. Nothing interesting would happen. I feel. That's how I feel. Would be the sort of result of it. I mean, look how careful they're being with Doomsday. Like, they've cast RDJ to play the main villain. They're bringing everyone back. They're bringing Chris Evans back. They're bringing Chris Hemsworth back. They're bringing the old X-Men guys back. They're bringing just everybody back. That's how careful they're being with Doomsday. I mean, imagine how little risk they would be willing to take with like a huge Marvel DC crossover. It's insane. It's actually insane. And the first pinned post on Rosam Media, a DC versus Marvel graphic, could mean anything though, couldn't it, really? Turkey also liked it from his personal account. Well, that is something. It's not hugely concrete, but it is something, I suppose. The post is dated April 14th, 2025, 7 months before our insiders told us in November 25 that discussions about DC versus Marvel project had taken place. Turkey is personally engaging with comic book movie content. This does not look like someone casually scrolling past superhero content. Turkey has not just liked the DC vs Marvel post, he has also liked several other Rosam Media posts about major franchises, including Batman, Spider-Man, The Avengers, Heath Ledger's Joker from The Dark Knight, and Star Wars. One Batman post features Zack Snyder's Ben Affleck, Christopher Nolan's Christian Bale, and Robert Pattinson, and has 398 likes. A Spider-Man post featuring Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield and Tom Holland has 319 likes. The RDJ Avengers post that Turkey shared to his story has 80 likes. Maybe the guy just likes superheroes. Maybe he just likes comic books. Maybe that's what it is. Imagine if that's all it was. All it was is that he just likes comic books. He's just a comic book nerd. That's why he was liking the posts. No, but they are posts from his actual media company. So that is interesting. That is something, potentially. Those numbers are worth paying attention to. These are not viral posts with hundreds of thousands of likes being pushed across Instagram. They are smaller posts on an account tied directly to Turkey, and he is personally engaging with them. The DC vs Marvel post is the clear outlier, with 11.9k likes, which only makes it more interesting that it is the one pinned to the top of the page. Turkey also regularly collaborates with Isam Bukhari, CEO of Manga Productions, Saudi Arabia's anime and comics production company, on pop culture events like Riyadh Season and the Joy Forum.